going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. You know who it is by now. Now, ladies and gents, we are back with yet another fun casual deck, something for you to mess about with your friend or even potentially take to a locals if you are feeling confident. Now, what I will say, ladies and gents, is where I live currently, we are going into a second raid of the crush card virus, so local or tournament play is somewhat on the back burner. So I'm going to be messing about a lot more with some of these fun casual decks, and the deck that I'm looking at today is actually Melffy's. Now, this deck is actually incomplete because there is some more support on the way, but for the most part, this is what I've got going forward, and this is still a deck in progress, ladies and gents. But starting us off, we're running with one Melffy puppy. Now, I'm going to tell you the main effect of the Melffy is basically if a monster is normal or special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, or if this card is targeted for an attack, you can bounce this Melffy card back to your hand, and then the various Melffys have different effects based on which one they are. Now, Melffy Puppy, what he allows you to do is special summon a level 2 or lower beast monster from your deck, ladies and gents. Very, very powerful effect, hence why I'm playing this guy at 3. It's probably the one that you want to see most often. Next up, we are running double Melffy Catty. Now, what Catty allows you to do is add a beast monster from your deck to your hand. It does not specify levels, ladies and gents, so you can add any level of beast monster you potentially have in your deck, and there are a few targets, ladies and gents. And what I will say is this deck is still not complete. I am waiting on a couple more cards, ladies and gents, just to fulfill this condition, so definitely double Melffy Catty. Melffy Fenny, what Fenny allows you to do is special summon a beast monster from your hand, ladies and gents. So you can imagine if you've got Catty on field, you can activate Catty's ability to get you a search, then you can activate Fenny's ability to special summon a beast monster from hand. And just before I carry on, ladies and gents, all the Melffys have the effect to special summon themselves to your field in the end phase, your end phase, ladies and gents. So you can actually spam the board quite easily and dodge Nibiru, because Nibiru only activates in the main phase. So definitely a powerful option. We're running a one solitary Melffy Pony. You can button this up if you want, but what this basically allows you to do is recur some of your beast monsters out of the graveyard. It is a nice continual loop, especially if you've got Fenny on field. Just being able to continuously recycle resources out of your graveyard is crazy, and the actual hand card or advantage you gain using this deck is just absolutely crazy. Actually, you can end up with like 6 cards in your hand and like 5 cards on field. Very, very powerful stuff. Next up, the honorary Melffy, the card that you are most likely going to be special summoning off Puppy or special summoning from your hand with Fenny, Calantosa. So what Calantosa allows you to do is if it's special summoned by the effect of a beast monster, you can pop a card on the field. Not a once per turn, ladies and gents. It does target, so you do need to bear that in mind, but you can just pop a card on field. So you can basically wait till your opponent does some various plays and then just play into this and pop one of their critical combo pieces. Really, really powerful, and then it's on board to be able to go into some various other plays, which I'll show you with the rest of the cards. We're running double the Fabled Cerebral. Now, Cerebral is basically a tuner, allows you to go into some synchro plays. If it is discarded, you get to special summon this card from the graveyard straight onto the field. But this is basically one of your normal summons, ladies and gents. One of the cards that you can definitely just put out on field and be able to continue with your plays. Next, we are running double Hop Air Squadron. Being able to synchro summon on your opponent's turn is something that is highly valuable. So double Hop Air Squadron, definitely a powerful card, especially with some of the extra deck monsters that we have. So running that guy at 2. We are also running the red-haired Hasty Horse. Now, you do need to keep in mind, ladies and gents, what is going on with this card. So basically, you can special summon this card to a column that has no cards in it. If a card is put in this card's column, this card blows itself up. However, you can reduce this or half this card's attack to be able to attack directly. And one of the problems with Melffy is that it doesn't get a lot of damage on board just with the Melffy card, so you need to supplement it. Plus, it's a level 5 to be able to allow me to go into some levels some level 7 synchros if I've got Hoppier Squadron in hand, so definitely a good option. It's also a beast that can special summon it from a hand with Fenny's effect, as well as being able to special summon it with its own effect. So really powerful card. Definitely something that I potentially would bump up to 3 and then bump Hoppier Squadron up to 3, but we shall see. Next, for some more tuner options, the other normal summon of the deck is X-Saber Herbellum. Very powerful card. If this card attacks directly, you can force your opponent to discard 1 card from their hand. Nobody likes hand loops. It's a tuner as well. 1600 attack, which is nothing to be scoffed at. And it can get pretty big with some of the cards that we have in the deck. So definitely a powerful card. Next up, for some more generic support, we've got Dino Wrestler Pankratops, 1 Elector Sovereign of Birds, and 1 Dogmatica Nexus. These are the somewhat pseudo boss monsters of the deck. I think in today's Yu-Gi-Oh, ladies and gents, it's a little bit risky to run a deck without some form of fallback, especially with Dogmatica running around and just dumping extra deck cards to the graveyard. You need something to be able to outboard just within your main deck, and these 3 certainly do help. Elector allows you to special summon it if your opponent controls a face-up monster of the same attribute or type, and it also can negate the effect of a face-up monster. Dino Wrestler Pankratops needs no introduction, and Dogmatica Nexus can special summon itself to the field by banishing 4 monsters from either graveyard, XYZ, Link, Synchro, and Fusion, and then it can attack into special summon monster and blow up all the special summon monsters your opponent controls, which is really powerful. It can be quite easy or quite difficult to do in certain circumstances in this deck, but it's just a nice option that I like to have. So yeah. Next up, just for some utility, we are running 1 Saravis. This is basically here because we have Herald of the Archetype in the extra deck, and when that card gets sent to the graveyard, you can search Saravis, which basically protects you against targeting one of your monsters. So it's a nice option to have. And then for the hand traps, I am running Triple Veiler. This definitely could be Ash Blossoms. My Ash Blossoms are scattered in about six other decks, ladies and gentlemen. I just couldn't find them, to be honest. But you could put in whatever you wanted. You could actually put more hand traps in, to be honest. But I've just gone with the effect Veiler, mainly because of Predaplant, Verte, Anaconda. So yeah. Next up, for the spells and traps, ladies and gents, we are running 1 Melffy Hide and Seek. So this card is really cool. So monsters that would be destroyed by card effect, or Melffy monsters that would be destroyed by card effect, for the first time each turn, each monster is not destroyed by card effect. Also, you can shuffle 3 Melffy cards from your graveyard into your deck to be able to draw 1 card, and this is each turn, ladies and gents. So it's a somewhat mini pot of avarice, as well as a bit of protection for your Melffy monsters, which is really useful. We're also playing triple Melffy Hide and Seek. Oh, sorry, double Melffy Tag and double Melffy Hide and Seek. Melffy Tag. So Melffy Tag is just basically an in-archetype monster reborn, ladies and gents. Also a quick play, so you can do it on your opponent's turn, and then you can activate the various Melffy effects. So really powerful. So I'll play those guys at 2 and 2. Next up, we are running Triple Airs Rock Sunrise. This is an in-archetype revival for beast-type warrior monsters. So you can special summon a beast-type monster from your graveyard, and if you do, the cards on field lose 200 attack for each wing, beast, or monster in your graveyard, which is really powerful. It's just a free special summon, and it doesn't specify Melffys. So if you've got some of your other beast type warrior monsters, which will eventually be in a deck like Zoo King Alpha, for example, I'll leave the image on screen for that. You can actually use this to bring it back and lower your opponent's attack. So very useful indeed. We are also running triple Obedient Schooled. Special summon 3 beast type monsters from your deck. Very powerful thing. You can go straight into XYZ. You are locked into beasts when you use this, so you need to bear in mind whether you want to use that or not, ladies and gents, but definitely a powerful card. And then finally, we are running 1 Closed Forest. So all beast type warrior monsters gain 100 attack for each monster in your graveyard. Also, your opponent can activate field spells, and they can activate field spells the turn this card is destroyed. So kind of locks your opponent out of playing field spells, and we all know how powerful field spells are right now, ladies and gents, especially with some of the searching and the effects that they can apply to in archetype cards. So very interesting card to run. Next, we are running a few traps. We are running one Melffy Playhouse. So this card is basically a compulsory evacuation device. You need to detach materials from a beast type XYZ monster, and you can bounce that number of cards on the field back to the hand, and then your beast type warrior monsters gain 500 attack. It is somewhat situational, hence why I'm running it at 1, but I just wanted to run it mainly because I wanted to stick to a more pure variant of Melffy, so definitely a one-off. Next up, Drowning Mirror Force. Just say no and go away to all your opponent's monsters. Typically, Melffys have low attack stats and low defense stats, so they will get beaten over very easily. So this can somewhat surprise your opponent if you are playing it. Also running one Last Wind. We all know what Last Wind does, and one in archetype or none in archetype. No, I forbid thee. You will not summon a monster. You will not play a spell or trap. It's a solemn judgment, ladies and gents. We all know what it does. Right, on to the extra deck. Now, we are running double Melffy of the Forest. Now, this card is actually a search card. It's actually a negate as well, which is something that comes up quite frequently. So you can detach a material, takes 2 level 2 monsters. You can detach a material from this card and add one Melffy card from your deck to your hand. Also, if a Melffy is returned to your hand, you can target one card on the field, on your opponent's side of the field, and negate its effects. So it's quite useful, to be honest. It's a searcher, it's the rotor for the deck, so at the moment we're playing it at 2 just for some recovery plays. We are also running one or double Melffy Mummy. Now, Mummy's got a slew of effects, so it can't be destroyed by a battle. Card effects if it's got 4 XYZ materials, if it's got 5 XYZ materials, if it attacks into a monster. You can basically burn your opponent for the attack of that monster. And also, quick effect, you can attach a beast type warrior or a beast type card from your hand or field to this card as a quick effect. So both players' turns, ladies and gents. So this is kind of like your pseudo win condition boss monster type thing, but it's questionable mainly because of the low attack stats, and just a simple negate would just, or a neutralization would just basically render this card useless. So we are running out of 2 just to keep to more of a pure variant. Next, one the Phantom Knight's Cursed Javelin, one number 45 Crumble Logos, and one Mannequin Cat. So these two serve the same purpose, basically negate opponent's card on field. This one it negates that card whilst this card is on the field, and your opponent cannot activate cards with the same name that's negated. This does a negate and it reduces the monster's attack to 0. All of these are level 2, by the way, and Mannequin Cat's the only beast monster type card. So basically, you can special summon an opponent's card from their graveyard and then special summon one card with the same type from either your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is just hella powerful, ladies and gents. Very powerful. So quite useful indeed. Now we are running a bit of a synchro package. So we are running one Herald of the Archetype, which needs no introduction, and double Old Entity Hastor. This is a level 4 synchro monster, 2300 attack, very powerful. So basically, if this card leaves the monster zone and goes to the graveyard, you can attach it to an opponent's monster. Then if this card is destroyed while it's equipped to an opponent's monster by this effect, you can take control of that monster, which is just hella powerful. Now you can't actually attach this card to cards that cannot be targeted, because inherently equipped cards, which is basically what it would be acting as, do inherently target. So you can't take somebody's Dragoon, for example. However, it works really well in this deck because you can just pop this card with Kalantosa and basically take control of your opponent's monsters, which is just, it's crazy. And Herald of the Archetype needs no introduction, as I said earlier. Next, one Height Speed Roy Chanbara, just for some DPS. One Naturia Beast, it's just crazy. One FA Dawn Dragster. These two kind of fulfill the same role. I'm probably going to take out the FA Dawn Dragster once my other cards arrive. And then finally, we are running one Black Rose Dragon for those cheeky board wipes, because if you've got Melffy tag on board, your cards will be protected and you can just blow up your opponent's whole field, which is really, really good. So yeah. And that is the deck, ladies and gents. Like I said, it is a fun deck, still definitely in transition, waiting for a few more cards to arrive to be able to kind of like mess about with the deck once again, but definitely something to just mess about with and play at your locals. So ladies and gents, that is the end of the profile. Were there anything that I could have included in a profile like this, or any cards that I didn't include? If so, get at me in that comment section below. And as always, if you did enjoy this content, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.